Hey guys, this is Allison from Cat Creations. Hi. Share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, a connected dot, an epiphany, a mind-blowing moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are in the description under the video. And Christmas is coming. If you get anything, if you go to my website, alleycatcreations211.com, and you want something custom, you want something already pre-made, you like it, you see it, woo, good energy on it. You want something for grandma? I got some comments. Please reach out to me via email. That's in the description, and it's also on my website if you would like anything. Again, I start really cheap. I got cute little ornaments. I really should bring down more. And I also make candles. And I have limited stock right now. So I have amazing people that are helping support my work. I have like the worst. I don't know if that's a paper cut. It's like in between. Ooh. Okay. Spiritual soul advice. I'm tired today. I did a lot of my work early this morning in terms of like pouring and sanding, and then I got the clean bug. I got to clean my house bug, and I've been really busy, so I tidy up, but I'm not like deep cleaning. So I did a deep clean in 4 rooms today. I'm tired. Between the laundry, the sheets, bathroom, Morgan's room, trying to get festive. It's a lot, but I don't neglect being clean. I'm very clean, but like deep clean, deep. So I did that today, and I needed to like get out of things because I've been overloaded with a lot of downloads and a lot of insights, and then talking to people. Hi, my friends. I'm titling this, Are You Nuts? And we're also going to go in the inner world and the outside perceived world. Because I got some very interesting messages just recently, today, in fact, because there was a video that 2 beautiful souls put out, talking about angels. And a lot of question marks. And knowing what I am, a lot of people were a little like, so I want to break down a couple of things based off of half of the video I saw, and the other half I had to shut off. And that was because upstairs was like, you heard enough. You heard enough. So I didn't finish it, and it's not to disrespect or discredit anything. When you listen to other people present evidence, videos, other people's work, right? We all do this. There's no one that hasn't done this. Are you bringing and aligning your heart space with it? Are you asking your heart, your higher self, and source, is this something I need to hear, listen to, and absorb? That's anything. I read books. I read a lot. I don't agree with half of what the book says. There are things in those books that are close to what I would consider my perception of truth. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. We live in duality and polarity, positive and negative, good and evil. What we understand in humanity to be in books, to be in literature, to be thus spoke the Bible, but there were a lot of things before the Bible. Why can't we just agree to disagree that there was a lot of life way before the Bible was ever written? And we take that one holy scripture and call it and hold it up. I'm not knocking it, and I'm not saying not to read it and to go within yourself to figure it out. Again, it's not about what I technically say. A lot of people are, Alice, you got to read the Bible. Oh my God. Guys, I go within myself. I quiet my mind. That's what I did today. I've been getting very bombarded by a lot of different energy, a lot of different people talking to me. I don't mind. I love talking to people, and it's not anything about that. But when I'm taking in energy, I have to take a few, like a day, to just get back to my own self and ground. And when I clean, I normally do a lot of that. So I did a lot of contemplating today. I did a lot of pondering today. And that video, then I got a bunch of messages. You should watch this. Oh my goodness. I saw a comment too in Telegram, and again, it's not to disrespect anybody's perspective. You're only where you are at the level of vibratory state and frequency that you're oscillating at. And it's beautiful, and don't give up. But you're only seeing and interpreting a small picture of a totality that you are. I might claim right now that I'm of the Archangel Collective. So according to this video and some research, I'm a part of an Elohim guardian warrior agenda to enslave humanity. That's kind of the takeaway I took out of that interpretation and a perspective from one person who was translating Hebrew from the Bible when the true language was Aramaic. Point, checkmate. No, note that, put that in a note. Doesn't matter. If you go back into Ashiana Deed's work, hi guys. Oh yeah, that's the book that no one ever wants to read. No one. Well, the people who have platforms and who are doing work, besides Carrie Cassidy, no one wants to read this book. There's a bunch of people who have and who are really invested in her stuff. And let's just say that I got validated that I'm very connected to that work, very heavily connected to that work. And on other bases, not all of it is 100%. And that's okay. I take the pieces that correlate with my heart alignment, and whatever else doesn't serve my heart space, goodbye. Nothing's 100% right. We're not going to know the entirety, the totality of the infinitude of truth. That's just not going to be. But am I an Anunnaki angelic? And what happens if I am? Ashiana questions this, and she speaks about it. Not all of the Anunnaki Collective are evil or bad. There was a bunch that got stuck with negative polarized Anunnaki, and they wanted their Krishnic spark back, and we're here to help them redeem it. Now, if I'm one of those people to help them redeem them to get back on track, hey, I'm cool with that rescue mission. That's what I signed up for. if that's what my agenda is. Again, Draco, not all are bad. We live in duality. They have to play by the same rules as we do. It is a holographic simulated matrix using ontological mathematics. So if we're all, the whole entire SmackDown is one, then why is there arguments happening? We're individuated, having an experience. We place too many things outside of ourselves. When someone like myself or others who do readings out of books, I'm here to just help you remember. And everybody's going to remember different collections of things, different time frames. People are really trying in a beautiful way to start remembering who they are. I'm here to help you trigger those memories. I'm here to help you trigger you're not just a body. As cute and as beautiful as you are, or handsome, you're way more than what you think you are. Being a starseed is just a fractal of an experience that you remember, or that you have an infinitude, a connection, an entanglement to that you don't know, can't put your finger on. But a lot of people love the Pleiades, so we're going to use that as an example. A lot of people, oh, I'm from the Pleiades. Beautiful. But that's just one part of a fractal, of a fractal, of a fractal, of a fractal of an experience that you remember that you are. And you might be simultaneously living that life now, and you're getting snapshots. So it's not necessarily, it's you. And now you're seeing the other you in a different form, in a different place, having an experience. So God can know itself. And so your soul, in a totality sense, can have the experience as well. I'm multidimensional, and I know this because I get the snapshots. We concurrently living every damn life. We're only cognizant of this one in full. The other selves are slowly, meticulously coming back to us in this vehicle that we are cognizant in. We're pulling our fragments in. That's why you're able to remember that you are from the Pleiades or you're from Orion. Again, we have to stop associating the fact that this is bad and this is good. Yeah, it can, all things are bad and good in the same breath. This is a very hard thing, and I've been wheeling through my mind about this topic. And when I heard and saw the messages I was getting today, I'm like, oh, I instead of going to sleep early, I'm doing a video because this needs to be addressed. What is in your heart space, and what are you aligning yourself with? That shouldn't come from outside. That should come from within. Plain and simple. Because someone says it doesn't make it so. You alone create your own reality. You already wrote your story. If you are meant to win the lottery, it is in your purview to do so. If you didn't write that in your script, you're probably not going to win it. There's a lot of validations I got over the last few days listening to channelings by Pamela Erlin, and she channeled Johannes, which is Yeshua's son. Go check that out on her channel. I think I put it on Telegram. I think I shared it. If not, I will share it after this. and I did do it on Facebook. Check that out because he just tells you everything that I've been saying. I saw that channel like a year ago, and I ignored it because it wasn't time for me to hear it because I wasn't going to be able to make the connections I am making now to some of the people she channels. You all have to go within and understand what being at one with it all really means to you. It's a perception, it's metaphysics. You should stop allowing other people to dictate what you feel inside. That's why we all have intuition. That's why we have gut instincts. That is why we have fight or flight. It's not an accident. And so what? We have a reptilian side of our brain. Why should that be a negative thing? Again, we get so much of the outside always trying to get into us, and we allow a lot of stuff in. I'm not saying that the work that I watched a little while ago wasn't right or wrong. In my purview, it doesn't really matter. I don't align with the message that they were portraying. And if you tell me that you pick up a deck of cards, I pick up cards. I use my cards all the time. I don't use tarot cards. I use oracle cards. Do I have angelic decks? Yes, I do. But if you see when I read George Van Tassel and how he perceived the angels as being aliens, if you feel that way, great. That's your perception, interpretation of what he was reading and what he was portraying and putting out there. You could believe that all day long, and good for you. No one should knock it. It's your perception, and that's if you feel and you're aligning with that in your heart space, great. Again, we have to take out we have to like take out the idea of what real truth really is. Because everybody's being hung up on it. It's an interpretation your brain function makes. If you're vibrating at one level, truth is frequency. You're not going to get the entirety of the truth of whatever you're looking into, because you're only frequenting and vibrating at one state, when the state of the truth is always expanding broader and wider. So you're only interpreting what is in this vibratory state where you are at. When you move up, it expands and then it shifts and things start falling away that no longer you need. Linda Good McGillis talks about this. I think she does it with Alexander Quinn. Again, she's somebody who, and Brian Scott of the Reality Revolution, like help me make sense and word my words better to interpret what I'm feeling, what I'm receiving from upstairs. A lot of people just allow other people to spew content at you. But are you quieting your mind? Are you quieting your heart and filtering it through to feel it? Does it feel right to you? Are you taking it and are you weighing the abstract and the logic, the approaches to understanding what is being spoken to you? Do you pick up the agendas that are being unconsciously given to you? There's always an agenda being steered. all the time. And this ties in with what I really wanted to talk about. Again, I got validated about the Archangel Collective. I was getting in streams of ridiculous sorts of imagery and astral projecting out and seeing things other people have seen me project into my light body. And then I got validated from other sources, not just one, besides myself. Which upstairs is saying, like, we give it to you because when you talk, you're trying to get other people awakened, and we need to give you some sort of tangible evidence, because some people are just so thick-headed and narrow-minded that they need something to be seen. So you have a good way of trying to explain stuff, and again, if I'm an Elohim and I am an evil warrior princess holding my axe, slaying humans in my other forms, whose story is that being narrated by? Again, this whole entire existence has been infiltrated and reversed, and we can't go based off of what a person is interpreting as at the language at that time. And then who wrote the Bible? Who wrote the stories? As soon as I heard Enki and Enlil, I shut it off. And it has nothing to do with the two people that were presenting this topic. I respect them. Yeah, there are people that are going to be angry. I'm not angry. I just see the agenda. And they're not really the ones trying to steer it. They're just curious on the topic and presenting it. Like the map maker. The map maker is of another group that came here to do good. He's not a part of my group. He's a part of another type of group. But we're both like connected and want to do good for the world. He steers more towards the Palladians and that agenda. Patty Broussard talks about it. And I'm more of the Ashiana Krishtik team. But he would not want to read the Voyagers books because I posted it in one of his comments. He like put a post out and I made a comment. And he's like, well, that's not my cup of tea. And I said, okay, but objectively read it. You don't need to read it to believe it. You just need to read it. Like I do all the other books. Again, a lot of people have been asking me about why do I make the comment about Awaspe being Anunnaki-driven history? Because the Urantia book is an Urtite-driven history. It's human history being written from their point of view. It's their point of view of what happened here and what took place. It's their interpretation from their faction, from their species of people. Does that make it good or bad? No, I'm not saying either. It's indifferent because everything is dual. I'm the devil in someone's story. My angels to people can be demons. It's your interpretation of it. If you know me as a human being, and especially people that know me since I was a little kid, you know I'm a good person. You know I try very hard not to screw anybody over and do the right thing constantly. And I think from putting myself out there and talking about my story, I'm a very upstanding citizen. I have my heart in the right place. I actually let more people take advantage of me, and I have in my entire life trying to do good. Because a lot of people have other various agendas that they want to get one over on me. Agendas can be good or evil too. Just think about these things, guys. And here's the thing. I get a lot of people that tell me about their experiences, and always the tagline, hashtag, I'm nuts. Am I nuts? I get this question all the time. I can't talk about any of this stuff. I can only talk to you about it. I feel very comfortable. Do you know how that makes me want to cry in happiness, but also in sadness? Why are we still hung up on out of our purview stuff that only certain people can sense? Why aren't we allowed to express, I saw a demon, I saw an angel? Again, it could be alien, it could be ethereal, it could be celestial, it could be astral, it could be whatever it is coming from. People see shit. Why are we still very closed-minded as a society? I'm glad I get to tell people you're not nuts. That makes my day. Oh, if I told my husband, they would think I'm nuts. Well, we got to find our tribe. So you're not giving that negative self-talk, and you're not getting that negative talk in the first place. Stop that. You're not nuts. There are people that have wilder stories than mine. There's people who've been abducted from upstairs, aliens, or down below. Again, perception. There are people who've been in black op projects. Go visit Super Soldier Talk with James Rink. I'm not, again, knocking people for their experiences. I don't even knock. I try just not to give my energy to people that I believe have some alternative agenda that isn't of the light. Light in terms of bringing us forward so that we can get into unity consciousness and do what Dolores Cannon has been saying. It's the shift in the positive and the negative. Roz says the same thing. There's a shift, and no one person's not ascending. It's just you're separating into different vibratory states. And I would rather be with the people that I vibe with and that my frequency and vibration match, so that I can get along and we can get this world started that we're all been talking about and wanting to manifest. Who wouldn't want that? And yet, to some people, they're going to call you nuts because they're stuck in their vibratory state of wherever they're at. They just don't see it, and that's okay. They're not meant to. That doesn't make you nuts. Listen, I've been called that. I don't even let it bother me anymore. If I was a little kid, again, if I was living now, I'd have an easier time explaining to my parents, well, I need to go see a medium. I need to go to a psychic. I need to go find a Reiki healer. I need to go find people that can help me outside of the indoctrined, programmed therapists that my parents would have probably taken me to, because they don't understand that there is empathic, there is light workers working in therapy. You're not nuts. Whatever it is that you make connections with that is otherworldly, or of the divine itself, or of your higher self, you're hearing voices, you're seeing things whiz by you, and you're like, what? And you do another take, nothing's there, but you thought you saw something. Something just crossed you. It's because you're picking up on fourth, fifth density beings moving past you. Everything is overlaid if you perceive it to be. Again, I'm not the proprietor of truth and what this world is, because your perception is your own and unique to you. So you got to go inside of yourself and align with your heart to know what is for you. It's all I've been trying to preach and to say and to get out. I'm not saying you got to believe me, because my paradigm is not yours. The alliances, the places that I have traversed as a soul are not where you might have been. And again, all of us are of different paradigms, different star seeds. And again, we were everything before we came here, but not everybody's from the same tribe. So your experiences are different. Your allegiances, your alliances from the past, concurrently working now, they're all different. And each one of those groups have agendas to steer. Many of them are of the light, and it's just a perception of what interpretation you're taking. And the same is the same thing on the negative side. It's the same thing. We're all fighting for the dominion of this planet and this realm, this matrix game, this level of reality. That's all this is. It's a game. And we're all playing. And we all align with different factions. You could be like, again, World of Warcraft. You could be a tank of Stormwind, and you could be the dwarf of Ironforge, and you could be the night elf hunter from Larian. You could be a panda. There's so many damn freaking things, but they all fight for the same allegiance, the alliance. Different factions come together to work together to take down the big bad boss. You play for the good. And then you got the horde, who have different races and different things, and they all do the same thing. They're for the horde, for the, negative polarity. And we're gonna all come together and do our thing too. It's the same story. It's just playing out good and bad. But the quests are the same. The bosses are the same. It's just what you're aligned with. Seriously, this is a game. In my perception and interpretation of this reality. The harder part is catching everybody up and going into yourself. The last few days, I've been working away, creating, getting my energy in service with nature, quieting my brain, and siphoning through those downloads, and only putting on things that are going to feed my brain, what connections I can make and take away from. And let me tell you, I had some very profound moments. I've also been validated. Johannes is one example. Just one. Am I nuts to say that Pamela channels Johannes and was asked a question about how many people around the world have Yeshua's bloodline DNA in them? And when he said over 1 million into a current date, then that validated myself for what I was told in my connection to that. I don't take that lightly. Does it really, at the end of the day, the grand scheme of things, really affect my right now life? Not at all. Would it help discover the divinity within me? Sure. And that's where I use that energy from. You're not crazy. I got that out of my mind a long time ago when I had tangible things show themselves to me and some other people started picking up on it. When things just out of nowhere flew off shelves, no one was near it, no vents are on, nothing. And everybody was like, "Oh, Allison, like, can you make sense out of that? Yeah, there's a spirit right there. I see it." And they're just being an asshole. They're trying to get your attention. You're not nuts. You're not nuts. Too many people give me that line, and I love it. But at the same time, we need to stop doing it because you're invalid. Don't invalidate what you are receiving in your five senses in your body. Yeah, there are people with schizophrenia. There are people that have neurological disorders that some things are really illusory. But we live in a hologram. So this is an illusion. Go read the Law of One. It's a mind fuck. That's all this is. All this is a mind fuck. But what we need to go inside for is to align our heart space. I pass the word discernment off because it's used too loosely. It is still a judgment. You're making a judgment. It's discernment is a judgment. You know, and resonation too, at the same moment, in one breath, you're at one frequency, one vibratory state. And you take that conscious breath and you move up. And now you're really connecting to your higher self and source. So resonation can happen and increase and decrease as you move up your states of frequency. So at one moment you're watching something, you're getting lost into people's words and you're like, "Oh, does that resonate with me?" But then when you take the conscious breath and ground and connect, oh, well, I don't know if that resonates with me now. I feel different because you just raised your frequency. Now your interpretation of that resonance changed. This is why it's a mind fuck. And how do we go and steer around this mind fuckery? And it's good mind fuckery, by the way. It's trying to help you understand that you're always in flux. You're always moving in energy. Energy doesn't lie. Energy is always in movement and constant flux, ebb and flows. We're energy. So we got to understand that what we take in fluctuates. When you take that conscious breath and you go within yourself and you're connecting to your gut, to your heart, to your head, down, 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 up. And you go here and let it sit. Is the work that's being investigating in that video that everybody asked me to watch today, does that align with me? No. Not because they're bad people, not because that's their interpretation. That's just evidence they're bringing forward. They, again, people keep asking you to do the work, but you don't want to do the work. You want everybody else to do it for you. Or you make the excuse, I don't know how to research. How do you really don't need to. Here's the research. If it's not making you in alignment, just let it go. You don't need that information. It's not for you to have. Again, we're all from different collectives. We're all divine. We're all of source. So what difference does it make if I make a claim I'm from the Archangel Collective? Does that, in your perception, might make me look a horrible, like demonic figure that's trying to enslave humanity? But in reality, where I'm sitting and standing right now, is that what you're getting from me? That's a question I can't answer for you. That's what you need to answer for yourself. If you believe that I'm such I'm steering an agenda. I'm in the Elohim and I'm here to conquer and take over the grids of the earth and align with my Anunnaki friends, and we're going to dominate and tell you some fanciful things about humanity being unified and things are going to happen and it's going to be beautiful. If you think you're aligning with that and that's what your perception of what I am is, great. I know my true self. I know my authenticity. I make claims because I know thyself and I know what fractals of thyself is made up of. And if they happen to be negative, let's just put it this way, they're good and evil. Sorry, it was hiding. This being right here works with me constantly. Again, it's your interpretation of what you read and what people are feeding you as a collective story that we all sort of wrote together to put in to have us learn and have experiences through for greater soul growth. Doesn't make it right. Again, what something that in the video that was a little irky to me is that the Gnostic texts, oh yeah, I went there, the esoteric texts, the Gnostic teachings, the Essene teachings, there's a lot of stuff that was never even considered to be put into the Bible. And if it was, again, many of us were there. We just haven't remembered those aspects yet. And again, go listen to Pamela Arlen channel Yeshua. He'll give you the smackdown. And that's just from Yeshua's perception. That's not from anybody older than Yeshua, because there's people that existed way before him. Come on now, guys. Again, good and evil work through us, but that's a perception that we give it. Are you doing good deeds like Dr. Martin Luther King, which everybody ignores his statement, the content of someone's character in the here and the now? Are you a good person? Do you do good deeds? Do you try to make an attempt each and every day to have a prosperous, harmonious life? Are you looking outside of yourself for everything that's already within you? It's a choice. You make a choice. Choose to go within more. Choose to silence your brain. Choose to kind of detox from all this information that you're over bombarding yourselves with and simplify it. Detox. I don't listen to 98% of the things that I always listen to because the universe already taught me those very tough and lovely lessons that, yeah, everything happens in divine timing. But did that RV go off, Allison? Did you get help from people that said they were going to help you? Only when they have their abundance. Okay, we got it. Check. I would have been homeless if I would have taken everybody's word for it and waited. Why aren't you creating today? Why aren't you putting your foot forward and doing the work today? Not tomorrow, not in 2 weeks after, well, whenever Christmas, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Time doesn't, I'm like not in time either. I'm like, what day is it? I don't even know. Now I know because today's Saturday going into Sunday. So, guys, it's a lot. It's a mind fuck. It really is. It's a mind fuck. Hi. Had to pause. Sorry about that. I want everybody who's been having experiences, stop doubting yourselves. This is upstairs channeling through me. Stop doubting the things that you're seeing, hearing, and experiencing in your sleep, your dreams, your vivid dreams, your everyday walking, realistic life that you are living through. Like today, I'm cleaning, right? And the last couple of days, I've been having like my REM pod go off out of nowhere. Nothing is near it. Don't know why it's going off, right? Like spirit is trying to get in touch with me. And I sat and did a lot of meditating the last few days. I had to ground and clear my energy because it's overwhelming. Yeah, energy on top of it all is overwhelming. And we just had an M class, really high M class hit here. And that energy reverberates for a few days. It doesn't just like dissipate as soon as it hits. And oh, you get your epiphanies. Like it takes time, it seeps in. And then it's up to your body to catch up with the energy. That takes a few days. And then your guides are there, sitting there and like helping you filter through it all. So a lot of people have been having experiences. You are not nuts. You're being shown. Because other people don't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Again, this world is very metaphysical. There's a lot of things in the unseen realms, and there's a lot of things in the unseen that you and I don't really have a there's evidence there, but it's up to you to perceive it and align with it. And if you don't align with it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But that doesn't mean you're crazy because you heard your name or you're making connections. You have telepathic thoughts with your kids. Doesn't make you nuts. It doesn't make you wrong. Interpret what you get. Go within. Align with your heart space. We are a country, especially in America. I don't know what's going on. The hypocrisy, the irony happening in everything that I've been listening to, besides a few snippets of shows that I listen to. And I dropped all of that in under the information that I drop about my videos, where you can find me, but I'm not always in the chat because as soon as I see enough hypocrisy and irony, I need to leave. I'm not feeding or sharing agendas that are not in alignment with myself. That doesn't mean you can't speak. That doesn't mean anything. I just have to remove myself. A lot of my information, the things that I try to perceive and convey to people it's not necessarily not ready to come out, but it's not easy work. When you stop blaming everything, understanding source and understanding the totality of it all, We still have to go through this 3D existence as humans. We still have feelings, emotions, and hormones. We still have earthly situations that continuously happen because those are the things that we wrote in for ourselves as catalysts for soul growth. We still have to play the game. We're not out of this realm yet. And we're not going to be for a while. We have to have patience and grace. Not enough people are having compassion for the totality of what's going on. A lot of people are still not doing the work on themselves, even though they claim that they do. You would be healed. I'm being tested every day to make sure that I'm healed, that my reactions are the ones that I worked on that have changed. And the ones that I'm just like, take a step back. Why am I thinking old thoughts? Why am I comparing the old self to the new self? Oops, let's make that change. It's not easy. That old self of mine got to go. Thank you for the experiences. I really love you and appreciate you. I give you all the compassion. And I understand that those experiences of where I am in this present moment got me here. But now I don't need any of this moving forward. I got the lessons. I went through them. I learned them. I walked through them. I experienced it all over and over and over again. And many of us have that cycle. We mess up and then it presents itself in different ways and different people. But at the end of the day, it's a cycle repeating. Are we repeating our cycles as a collective? You're not nuts for making claims. You're not nuts for thinking and aligning with things that other people think you're batshit crazy for. You are a unique divine expression of source. You have your origins from source. We all have our origins from source. If you look outside and say you're from the Pleiades, that's great. That's one aspect of your soul. A smidgen, little tiny percentage. If you took a pie graph, I might have to draw one up to visualize this for people. If you took a pie graph, this part of you is Pleiadian, this part of you is Orion, this part of you is a Daihan Kohan. This is a Rishi, this is an angel, this is the guardian, this is that. And all around, all these fragments of yourself, your prior lives, your current life, your future lives are all simultaneously running right now, multidimensionally. It's not easy to think on these terms and really embody it. That's why as soon as I heard Enki Enlil, yeah, they're a part of our paradigm and they're very much energy. So is Marduk, so is Satan, so is Yaldabaoth. These are the stories that were allegories. These are the entities that we give a claim to for playing a role that God and source God, prime creator, whatever you want to call the it that created it all. God created heaven and the earth. And God said, let there be light. Is that true? Is that the order and sequence of succession that happened in? We don't know. We don't remember. Some people do. And some people have channeled those things. But that's of Satan's paradigm. If you're thinking that channeled, yeah, guess what? Not all channels are accurate. Not all channels pick up on the actual essence of somebody. They're actually picking up on fractal essences of entities. But again, all those entities played a role and they played aspects, a shadow and a light aspect, again, like I said, one life you're positive, one life you experience the negative, one you're the murderer, the next you are the victim. Does that make your soul essence bad because you murdered somebody in a prior life? Maybe you were in self-defense, maybe you were at war and that was the order you had to do. Does that make that soul essence wrong if they're playing a role from source? Or all the entities who came to play a game in Atlantis and Lemuria? Oh, we annihilated ourselves. Yeah, we did, and we're here now. Back again, being tested to see who the righteous, who's walking that path of the Christic spark. And it's not just Christic, that's one agenda, that's one faction. We really have to look at a whole totality of other aspects that are playing out in this reality that we don't give credence to, because we again been shoved the Christianity stick so far down into the collective that that's really the go-to. But there's other and lots of other religions and faiths that we know not and we don't give any energy to because, oh, it's pagan or it's evil. What are you aligning in your heart? Doesn't matter what religion you follow. If you don't follow religion, I don't follow a religion. I follow my heart space. I go into my heart. Are you going into your heart? Are you sitting? And I know life gets super effing busy. I get it. I was there. I took care of both my parents. I went to school. I worked. I don't have a family, but it doesn't matter. My mother was like a child. Are you going into your heart space? Are you working on yourself? Are you bettering yourself? Are you feeding only positive things to yourself? And if you are of the negative polarity, that's okay too. What are you feeding your brain? What are you allowing in? Because what I keep seeing, and today was a great example, and I love these people. And again, I'm not here to slander you. I'm not here. It's a perception you had, and you thought I should listen to it to see what was the up and up. But if you really believe that I am a warrior spirit trying to harm humanity, well, is that something you believe? Did you go into your heart space and then add me into the equation and make an assumption? Oh, because that evidence that they're talking about might be true. Is that what out? So here and again, did you go into your heart space and make that adjustment? Did you change the way you're perceiving what you heard? Again, I'm not slandering and I'm not putting down the two people presenting this evidence. I happen to really like and enjoy them. Do I listen to them anymore? No. But I don't necessarily think they're wrong in a lot of the things that are presented. I just don't align with a lot of things. I'm not into the finance stuff. I'm not into that crypto stuff. I don't understand the language. Someone very near and dear to me tried getting me into crypto. It doesn't align with me. I don't feel good energy from it. I'm just being quite honest. It's not that I think it's wrong or right. I personally don't align with a lot of things that most people do. I see a broader and a bigger picture with all of it. And I don't expect anybody to see it my way. But at least I know me and I understand the way of my thinking. And I'm always continuously expanding that thinking. And I'm looking deeper and I'm questioning more. And I'm looking at a bigger totality of the bird's eye view. And what I'm seeing is disturbing, because not a lot of people are realizing that they're not doing the work on themselves. They're not going in and making their own calls in their alignment with their heart. They're just taking what other people are saying and running with it as if it's truth. But it's your truth that matters, not theirs. It's your evidence for yourself. That's why you're not nuts. If something that I can't see happens to you, you tell me about it. I believe you. I trust you. I didn't see it. Doesn't make it right or wrong. Doesn't make it like it happened. If is it really happening? That's up to you to interpret. Did it really happen? Did I really hear my name? Did I really see that shadow figure? Did I really have a miracle happen to me? That's for you to interpret and to take into your heart space. It's not up for me to judge or for me to say you're nuts. No, you're not. You're not nuts for having experiences that can't be explained tangibly. I show you with my oracle cards how succinct I am with upstairs. And upstairs just meaning higher density energy running through me, if you want to get scientific on it. I'm not unique to that. Everybody has this ability. My uniqueness is expressed through doing me every day. My seeding and calling out the irony, I'm not calling it out anymore. It's okay, because I'm not here to take your interpretation of the truth away. I'm not here to steer you. You steer your own ship. If you want to come on my bandwagon and jump on my ship and be steered with me, just make sure you're going in and making sure that's an alignment that you need. We all want the best for each other, at least the people that I know watch my channel. And I know the people that I talk to and that I love to communicate with. The people that I work with. It's a beautiful family. We're all very unique and we're all very different. And on my end, there's so many things I have proven, shown in tangible evidence. But again, if they don't align with it and go in their heart space and know if that's true for them to perceive or not, it doesn't even matter if it is. During the truth tour, I showed tangibly that I brought out the guns of energy to clear an RV of its negative energy and the negative thought forms attached to it, causing gremlin mayhem. And I drove all the way from Staten Island, New York to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And that was my main mission, to clear that RV. Because it would show others that I'm not fucking crazy. I'm not nuts. That what I put out in energy is what I claim I put out in energy. And it worked. Now, some people could say, well, I don't believe you. And others can say, well, yeah, that's true. It was having trouble all the way up until that point. And then you blessed it. Nothing, we didn't go to the auto mechanic and get anything fixed. Like, we drove it that night. And it made it all the way to its last stop without an issue. And even when I went back and did New York, I touched the cars and the equipment, whichever ones I could. And all the ones that I did were fine until they swapped out that RV. Because I didn't touch the other one and blessed it. That's just one thing to show that when I really put my will and focus into my energy, when I do my work and I light my sage and I do my tuning forks and I'm putting my energy into things and I'm doing it from my heart space, you can receive that energy or you don't. It's up to you. My work is where my energy is. I don't work when I'm not in a good flow of energy. I don't touch my gems. I don't even bless them if I'm not having a good day. That's why some pieces take a lot longer than others. And it's not because I don't want to do the work. It's because I have to be in alignment in my energy in order to make sure the gems are programmed properly, that my energy going into these pieces is of a healing, protective nature, depending on what you want. And that doesn't necessarily only go into pyramids. That's everything I do. I'm leaving my energy signature on things. Which brings me to the last thing I would like to implore on people. There was another show that took place that a lot of people had a lot of questions about. It involved a photograph and what my opinion was of it. And I'm going to say this. Go into your heart space. What do you feel? What are you aligning yourself with? If your heart does not align with it, then don't do it. I'm not here to disrespect people doing work. Doesn't matter what kind of work. I don't personally align with stuff like that. I asked myself, I went into my heart space, it's not for me. That does not necessarily mean it's not for you. Just because I say it doesn't align with me doesn't mean that it should always land on, oh, well, if Allison said it, well, maybe I shouldn't. No. Go inside your own heart space and see if it aligns with you, please. Again, I'm a unique expression of source, just like all of you. Just because you see something and I say I'm not about it doesn't mean you should not be about it. Maybe it's something that will heal you and help you. I just don't resonate in my heart space and align with it. So that doesn't mean it's wrong or bad or indifferent. That just means that's me and the God within me saying, not for you. That doesn't equate to mean that that is also the route you take. You got to do the work inside yourself to know if it's right or wrong for you. I don't determine you. Even though I am you and playing a different aspect, I still can't determine what's going on in your individualized, indifferentiated uniqueness that is source. That's up to you. We all have different likes, wants, needs. We all like different things. We're entitled to that. Again, we're playing human. We're in the matrix. We're playing the matrix game. You chose your avatar. You chose your character. You chose everything around you. You chose all of it. So now, why am I the determining factor if you try something or not? Because Allison doesn't align with it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try or that you need to do the work to ask yourself, does this align? Again, I'm not here to take away business from anybody. I want you to do the work on yourselves. Please don't ask. And it's okay that you do, but I'm going to give you the same answer I give everybody. Did you go within? You're allowing the outside world to dictate what's inside of you. There's a lot of these health products. There's a lot of the undertow. I can pick up on the intentions. I can pick up on frequencies of things. And I don't align with a lot of stuff. And not necessarily because a product is bad or good. It's what's behind it that I don't like the agenda. And I don't like what feeling I get from it. But that doesn't mean it's not a helpful, prosperous product for someone else. Just not for me. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not here to steer your mind. You're here to steer your own mind. You're here to go within and know thyself. And if you allow the outside world to dictate the inside world, well, then there's why a lot of us haven't moved forward. And that's probably where you need to be right now, is to figure that out. And again, grace and compassion, have it for everybody, because we're all different spots. We want to not leave anybody behind, and no one will be left behind. That's why everything is going. Even though our days are quickening, time is like, the days are going by like this. For many of us, some of us are not perceiving it that way. Again, it's perception. What are you perceiving? When you are consciously breathing in the moment of the now, and you bring your attention to your breath and the now, what is your heart saying to you? Again, you're not nuts. You're a beautiful expression of source. Doesn't matter what polarity you're from. You're here, you have a role. We all do. We have to stop criticizing. We have to stop pointing fingers. We need to understand how things are done, and what you align with is what your heart is singing and wanting harmony and rhythm and beautiful music singing out of your body into your toroidal field, into your auric field. You want to be the happiest expression that you could possibly be, but how can you do that when your outside world is dictating to you how to think, feel, and see? Oh, because somebody told me that that document or that podcast or that person did research on this X, Y, and Z, and all of a sudden that evidence is so. Guys, the Keys of Enoch. A lot of people swear by that book. Again, just like the Voyagers book. I know Enoch turned after the Anunnaki and the Draconians declared dominion here. He had no choice. He might be back with the good. Who knows? And I don't know what faction he's with. Does it really matter at this moment in time? Not really. But the information that people are channeling, is it good or evil? Is it the steered agenda, or is it of the real agenda? Is it this? Is it that? I just read the book and see what aligns with my heart space, might not align with your heart space. Again, the same thing with the Voyagers books and all the other work that I read from of Ashiana's. Is it aligned with me? Is it not aligned with me? Some stuff, yes, other stuff, no. I take what works with me, and all the books that I've read on this channel and all the books that I will read on this channel, I might not align with at all. Doesn't mean that someone else doesn't align with it and will get something useful from it. You should see the comments on the Awaspe and the Arantia book. There's a lot of people who follow that stuff. But I'm just bringing you my interpretation of what I'm reading and all the learned information that I have, that it doesn't necessarily make it wrong. It's from the Anunnaki, but you must understand it's from the Anunnaki, their perception of it. It's still a source. It's all a source, but it's their interpretation of us. The true test is to see if that's something you align with. That's fine. Then that's the collective you're from. Doesn't make you bad or good. That's just an interpretation. When you see everything as an interpretation, when you see everything as neither good or evil, it's all God experiencing itself, a lot of things start lifting from your world. You don't need the influx of outside externalists and stimuli to dictate to you how to feel and what truth. Use your truth. It's already here. You already programmed it in yourself. Now you got to do the work to find out. And through all the reading and all the people and all the work that I've been through, I made educated decisions in my mind, and I did the work, what aligns with me and what not. But the exposure to it is great. We need that exposure. We need the outside world to give us the exposure. It's up to us to go in our heart space to release anything that no longer serves us or had a purpose at one point, or not let it in at all. But we're still fighting the indoctrination. We're still fighting the programming. And this is going to happen for a little bit. So I'm glad that you guys, a lot of people sent me that video today. I had to address it today. If you think I'm one of those warmongering angelics that want to deceive and to enslave humanity, that's great. That's your perception of it. And if you really know me for me, then you know that that's not my disposition. That's not my character. And that's not what Source is using me for on this plane of existence. So you make that determination. I know what I am. I'm strong in my convictions of my authenticity. And that's all that matters to me. And you got to be confident in what you are. And again, whatever you are, you're not nuts. Whatever experiences you're having, you're not nuts. But you need to go inside of your heart space to see what aligns with you. And stop doubting yourself. It's one thing to be conceited. It's one thing to have your ego self come out and put yourself on a pedestal and I'm better than you. Right? Flaunting and showing off. Again, if I was making money to support myself, and then all of a sudden I got an influx of people, and someone came to me and said, Allison, I just lost my job, or something just happened terrible in my family. You know what I would do as a conscious human being? Try to help them. And if I couldn't help them, I would send them to somebody that might. Where's the helping of people? I'm waiting. Why I don't align myself with much anymore. Because I see the true intentions and the will of others. And that's more scarier than anybody can even imagine. Take a look. Go within. Find your heart space. See what the agendas are. And again, not all agendas are bad. They're not. What is your alliance to? Are you the night elf or are you the human? Are you the dwarf or are you a Draenei, World of Warcraft? Are you a blood elf? Are you a Tauren? What are you? Doesn't matter. You're a source. We just need labels. We have good and evil running through us. I just say this is the shadow aspect of the other aspect that's running through me as well. And they can currently walk through me and talk through me and channel me all the time. They're now just like, hey, now you understand what we were trying to do all this time. Yes. Does that make me nuts? Again, I'm secure in myself. Are you? Go within, go to your heart, take those conscious breaths, come into the moment, and live in the present because that's all you have. Stop living by the dictates of others and the past. We need to learn from it, not relive it. We need to understand it, but not absorb it. And this is what we need to make the establishment of all of us understand. You can listen from the outside. What are you allowing here? You have to put some boundaries up. You have to put your walls up. Not all information is good for you. It might be good for someone else. So when you're listening to somebody and it's not registering with you, there's a reason for that. If you feel that, not that you're triggered, but like, okay, there's keyword here. Now I know the whole, it doesn't even matter. The rest of the agenda, I hear it now loud and clear. I don't align with it. I'm not feeding it my energy and I'm not allowing that energy to come into me. That's just my boundaries. Are you throwing your boundaries up? I'm tired. I got an early morning. Special guest on tomorrow, but go check on Facebook and Telegram. I think Miss Dina shared who's coming on tomorrow morning, 11 Central. WeNotMe. So guys, it's just me ranting. I don't know if there was any advice in what I've said, but I hope you get something out of it. If not, that's great too. I love you nonetheless. And I give you all compassion and grace. Because we're all here just at school learning at our own speed and our own levels. And it's okay. And again, I'm here to listen to you. If you feel like no one else is going to believe you, you're more than welcome to email me. I'm here to help you through whatever you heard, whatever you saw, whatever you're feeling, whatever is going on. And that's my job. That's my assignment here. But just know you're not nuts. Just because other people can't accept what you are doesn't mean that you can't accept it for yourself and say, well, yeah, no, that really did happen. Okay, now what do I do with it? Let's align. Why did this happen? Why did I hear it? Why did I see it? What is this telling me? What is the lesson here? Okay, higher self. What is this showing me? When things happen outside of your realm of normal and things are outside of the realm of what other people consider normal, just socialized norms, then take a step back, take the breath, and ask those questions. I'm always here, guys. I'm not criticizing you. I want you to have those experiences. It's there for a reason. You got to trust yourself and your heart. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your weekend. Sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, shielding, compassion, and grace, energy, wrapping you with big hugs and warmth. It's going to get really cold, and my energetic prayers to the people that were affected by the tornadoes tonight in Tennessee. I saw a lot of that stuff. It rips my heart out. Though it's, again, source playing able. And things happen for reasons that we don't understand, but they happen. And those big catalysts happen for major reasons. But I still give my energy and my grace and my compassion to all those that were affected by the weather tonight. I'm holding you in my heart space. And for the next few days, what's coming, big energetic hugs to all of you. Please be safe, be seen. And tell me, what do you perceive? See you on the next one.